Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Puranana Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lankayate Giru Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Paramanandama Paramanandama. Feel free to take your notes because notes will be very important for you, your study, your reflection, your discussion, and later on remembrance also. We all know that one of the dangerous problems anyone can have as an individual, as a society, as a nation, and the world. The greatest possible problem, root problem, source problem is ignorance. And you know, ignorance can cause many kinds of problems. Ignorance can keep one in poverty. Ignorance can keep one in suffering. Suppose somebody has got a fever and does not know that just going to doctor and taking some small simple medicines can solve the problem. Then the person will continue to suffer. It's a small thing, but it is so important. You know how governments take up various schemes to ensure that everybody gets basic education. Ignorance can cause many problems. Ignorance can keep the nation asleep and the nation deluded. You know, when there was a time, that India was under British occupation. And people had become so comfortable. He said, what is the problem? Everything is fine only. Everything is fine. We are eating food, everything is okay. So at that time, those people who wanted to recognize that seriousness of the problem, but recognize that people have not understood that there is a problem. You see, people have not understood there is a problem. So much of effort, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, the earlier freedom fighters I am talking, Lala Lajpat Rai, so many of them, those earlier freedom fighters, they had to put effort to educate the people that there is a problem. To not recognize that there is a problem is a greater problem. To know that there is a problem but to be ignorant of the solution is a problem. But to know that there is a problem, you do not know that there is a problem, that is a greater problem. Are you understanding what I am saying? It is not that everything what I say will be clear immediately. This is clear, I am sure. I can see your faces. But there will be times when what I am saying is not clear. It cannot become clear first time. It did not become clear for me also first time. What is the way to go about it? Be very, very sincere. If something is not clear, catch hold of it. Because that is your doorway for knowledge. A doubt is so important. Because doubt opens the pathway for knowledge to come in. Like how a door is there. You open the door, then you can come in, right? Like that, and door indicates that how to enter inside. Like that, doubt tells you this is how I should go inside. So when you find a doubt, note down. You cannot think probably in the midst of the class when the discussion is going on, but you can note down. And later on, you have sufficient time to study, to have also reflection. See, in the class, what is happening is what is termed Shravana. You can note down if you do not know this term. Shravana. Shravana is listening. One after another point will start coming. You listen. As far as possible, see if everything is clear. You can make one cogent idea of what is being said. But suppose something is not clear, make a note of it. Then what is required afterwards? Manana is required. So after Shravana comes Manana. Shravana is listening, Manana is reflection. So when you listen, information comes in. In Vedanta, Shravana is not just information, Shravana is cogent information. Do you understand this word cogent? Meaning information, but you should be able to connect all of them. Like how I have this mala, right? This mala has got a lot of beads, but they are all connected together and becoming a single garland. In the same way, all that information you receive should become collected and become knowledge. That should happen in Shravana. Now, when that meaning that should knowledge means what? This is what is said. That is called that knowledge. Okay? I'm not saying this is clear. This is what is being stated. Then what you do is that you start reflecting. Then that information which has become knowledge will become clear knowledge. So, very cogent information you should have in Shravana. Clear knowledge you arrive by Manana. That is the second step. And third step is what? That knowledge you are able to apply. One is doubts are not there. Even if doubts are not there, we may not be able to apply. For example, we all know we should get up early. Everybody knows we should get up early. Knowledge. You heard from elders, yes. And you also understood the importance of getting early. But are we able to get early? In such places, Swamiji, little easier. But in my home, slightly difficult. Now, this knowledge should be applicable in your life. To make it applicable for life, there is a practice called Nididhyasana. What is Nididhyasana? I am not telling you, okay? So what are the three practices to make knowledge direct, applicable and finally livable? What are the three practices? Number 1, Shravana. Number 2, Manana. Number 3, Nididhyasana. Give me the equivalent words in English. Shravana, listening. Manana, reflection. Nididhyasana, English term I will give you, meditation. What is meditation? It will take time to explain. That not now, later on. Right? So here, if you don't understand something, good, make a note of it. And then, so we saw ignorance is a problem. Correct? From there. Now, ignorance is a problem, but ignorance also has many types. One is that basic, I don't know basic, some language I do not know some basic maths, I do not know. So, a certain kind of simple basic knowledge. Now that is one kind of ignorance. Then as far as the objective knowledge is concerned, there are many kinds of, suppose I say I know maths, but I do not know trigonometry. Somebody may say. I know chemistry, but organic chemistry I am not getting. So, people may have different objective based knowledge which is not clear, and that can cause problems. But suppose if we have some misunderstandings about ourselves. Suppose there is a person and that person thinks that I am not good, I am not good enough, I am not capable, I don't think I can do well in life. So suppose a person has this kind of thinking, then that will affect the life, is it not? It will keep on affecting the life. Suppose you think you are inferior because you don't have one language capacity. Usually somebody thinks that because I do not know English, I am not good. Suppose somebody has got, then that will keep affecting that person. Continuously when he is interacting or when she is interacting with other person, this will be, I am not good, I am not good, I am not capable. This will be in the background. Is it not detrimental for the person's life? Suppose somebody has got a feeling, women are all nothing, then be a man. Now how that person will behave? That person will continuously have problems. In the office, suppose that person has got a lady who is a boss, the person will not be able to function. Now, these are all some emotional challenges. This itself can cause sufficient trouble. But there are deeper problems. As I said, there are some problems which we have not recognized also that there is a problem. There are some deeper problems. Like what, Swamiji? More than this, these are very terrible problems. These psychological, these emotional, these are very deep problems that affects. More than this, there is a problem? Yes. What is the problem? The problem is misunderstanding ourselves. That is a bigger problem. The more dangerous problem, that is such a problem that we have not recognized it is a problem. I have seen your, they had shared one Excel sheet. In that Excel sheet, each one has described yourself. So I went through the document. You're very nicely done, and that is why you are all selected here. That's why you're all sitting here. Whenever somebody asks us to introduce ourselves, how do we introduce? I am. First you say your name. Then you say probably where are you from. Then probably you tell your education. Then probably you explain about your interest, right? Then probably your achievements. And then you say, this is what I am. But the question we have to ask is that, is this an actual description of me? Is this what I am? When we say, I am a man, or I am a woman, I am a girl, I am a boy, I am a youth, whatever we say, we are saying that because of what? Because of our acceptance of ourselves as a body. Today you are youth. Few years back you were a child. Later on you will become a middle-aged person. Then one becomes old. One keeps on changing. Is this our real nature? Is the notion of I am man, I am woman there even when we are in deep sleep? Is this our real nature? Now when we say, when we describe as, I belong to, I am from Kerala, suppose you say. I am from, Rajasthan. I am from Madhya Pradesh. Suppose you say, now this is again dependent on what? This is again dependent on where your body was born. Even when we say, I am an Indian, I am a Japanese, this is again dependent on the place we were born. Somebody went to Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. Have you heard this name? Ramana Maharshi. He was a great saint from Tamil Nadu, Tiruvannamalai. That lady, she was a wife of the general of that time. So she went and offered her salutations in the usual, whatever British American way, I offer my salutations to you, Master. Can you please tell me what is God? So Ramana Maharshi asked, let us think about God later. First tell me who you are. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself. My name is. I'm from Britain. My husband is. So when she said that I'm a lady, you're talking with respect to your body. Tell me who you are. Oh, I'm from Britain. That's your country. Tell me who you are. No, I'm a mother of two children. That's with respect to your children. Tell me who you are. I'm the wife of a general. That's with respect to your husband. Tell me who you are. Now when Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi started asking, tell me who you are, finally she said, I don't know. I don't know who I am. I know myself only with reference to something. I don't know who I am. Any description you give of yourself is only a description with reference to something. We have not known who we are. We are not aware of who we are. We are just using words which are telling what we are with reference to something. Don't you think this is a problem? Tell me, what is the problem? I'm successfully doing. This is a problem. That there is a problem, we do not recognize it is a problem, is the biggest problem. In Vedanta, this topic is taken up. And Vedanta tells us, I'll just give you the final conclusion. The final conclusion is not something which we can immediately understand or immediately investigate, but that's what is going to happen throughout the course of the entire text. Vedanta finally says that our real nature is Sat Chit Ananda. You must have heard this term many times. Sat means existence. Chit means consciousness. Ananda means bliss. Sat Chit Ananda. Now, I can experientially tell you how we are Satchidananda. I can experientially tell you. Logically, we will go about it. Okay? Now, just for an example, you are going and knocking somebody's room, somebody's home, door you are knocking. Okay? And then suddenly the person from inside, who is that? Now, suddenly you are taken to, you didn't expect that question. You knock the door and the person is asking, who is that? Immediately what is the answer you give? Nanda. I am telling my mother tongue. I am. Nan. Me. Main hu. Now when you say main hu, what are you referring to? You are referring to just your existence. Then the other person, who is that? Then you say, I am Swami Advayananda. Now that is only, suddenly when you are brought to attention of yourself, you can only think of I am. Suddenly you are pressed to. Otherwise, when we have to intellectually think whom we are, then we give a big essay about who we are. But if we are just forced to, who is that? I am. That's all. That is our core self. When you say I am, you are referring to yourself as existence, and you are referring to yourself as awareful existence. It is not existence like this, which is inert. It's an awareful existence. Existence is such that awarefulness of that existence, which is natural to existence, is called Chit. And in that I am, there is utter completeness. That is Ananda. There is nothing in that, just I am. The moment you identify with body, then there is something lacking. What do you mean, Swamiji? The moment you identify with body, something is lacking. The body's requirements becomes your requirement. As a man, my behavior is very different from as a woman. Because as a man, I am different. Just me. Really speaking, when you say I am, and each one of us say I am, we are just I am. There is no man, there is no woman, there is nothing there. There is no youth, there is no old age, there is no good, there is no bad, there is no capable, there is no incapable, there is no noble, there is no ignoble. Just I am. And that I am is the same in all of us. Immediately when that person says, who are you? Again the next question, I am Advayananda, and probably you will say I am Raju. If your name is Raju, Vimala, you may say whatever name, but that is the next step. But when we said I am, we are all one. Can you see what is Advaita? One, not two. Dvaita is two. Advaita means what? Not two. Not two means what? One. But interesting, it is not said one, it is said not two. You see, it is not said it's not said one there. When you say one, there is always two. When you say not two, you are living it as pure. Right? Vedanta deals with this topic. You see, just imagine if we can recognize our nature as Satchit Ananda and be free of our identification with body, mind and intellect, how free we are, how full we are. How free we are means how. The moment we take ourselves with body, the restrictions of the body come. Swamiji, how restrictions of body come? Of course, man, woman, age and all those things. But if the body is not well, you are not well. If the body is sick, I am sick. If the body is healthy, I am healthy. If I am a Olympic runner, I am that. If I am, if I don't have a leg, I am without a leg. I am lame. I am blind. One day or other, these restrictions will come. Today, my eyes can see, everything is perfect. But a time will come when my eyes may not see that well. I may require a specs. And later on, this. The body will grow. The mind also will grow. There's a point up to which the mind grows, and then the mind also starts decaying. Everything that we have has ups and downs. And the moment we identify with those which has got ups and downs, I will have that ups and downs. Suppose I am walking on the road and my shadow, a lorry goes on top of it. Ayyo! Will anybody say that? Why? I am not my shadow. Shadow is shadow. I am me. Shadow can fall in the ditch, but I am not in the ditch. Right? I can disassociate from the shadow because I am not the shadow. But today I have taken myself to be the body. What happens to the body happens to me. What happens to the mind happens to me. If mind has got anger, I say I am angry. If mind is filled with love, I say I am very loving. And my anger and my love keeps on changing. If you do what I love, then I love you. If you do what I don't like, then I dislike you. Body, mind and intellect are very restrictive to our real nature. Are very restrictive. Suppose you wear a shoe which is one size lesser, then that shoe tightens you up and you feel restricted. Body, mind and intellect are very restrictive. Now our problem is we don't see this is restrictive. We don't see the problem. And so much of education Vedanta provides first for us to understand that there is a problem. Are you getting what I am saying? Please question yourself. Question. You have plenty of opportunity here to question. There are lots of people here who have studied Vedanta. Discuss with them. These 10 days when you are here, use it completely. Maximum use. Other than your sleeping time, use it so well that you are able to fully comprehend the subject. Fully, Swamiji. Try your best. It's a very simple, Vedanta is very simple. Advaita Vedanta is very simple, but subtle. It is not complicated. There is something called subtle, something called complicated. Okay? There are two different things. Is Vedanta complicated? No. Vedanta is subtle. Why it is subtle? Because it is not just using your senses and mind. You are referring to yourself whenever you are hearing anything. You have to apply, you have to see. Is it true? You have to ask yourself always in Vedanta. You should ask your experience. Is it true? Okay? So, my real nature is Satchidananda. Now this is not something which you have understood, but you are getting a glimpse of it. I am. When in the waking state, I identify with the body. Then what happens? I am a man. I am so and so. I am Swami Advayananda. Each one of you, your names. When you go to dream, you forget your body. Then you are in the dream state. Then you have your own understanding, you have your own imagined self. That is the mind-based self. Now when you go to deep sleep, the mind also is not there. And you are left as you are, without knowing who you are. I am ignorant of myself, but I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am nothing of this. Then also we are there. With the body also I am there, without the body also I am there. That means what? Body is not intrinsic to me. Body is not essential to my real nature. I am with the shirt. When I go to my room, I will remove my shirt. The shirt is not me. Why? I can be without the shirt also. If I can be without my shirt, I am not the shirt. What kind of logic, Swamiji? Where did you find all? Vedanta, if I can be without something, that is not intrinsic to me. That is not essential to me. That is not an essential part of me. If without the mind I can be, in deep sleep I am not dead. Without the mind I can be. Not only in deep sleep I am without the mind, so many times when I am sitting with nature quiet, time just goes. I am not aware of anything. No thoughts, nothing, just Does it mean I am dead at that time? An artist, a poet, when they are working, when they are doing their art, totally immersed in it, lost in it, totally forgetting the sense of individuality, is a person dead at that time? In other words, if I can experience myself without the body, as in dream, as in deep sleep, if I can experience, and I do experience, the body cannot be intrinsic to me. If without the mind I can be, without the mind I can be, therefore I don't have to be the mind, I am not the mind. My thinking changes. I have so many thoughts I have given up, my conclusions I have given up, I have come to fresh conclusions. These are all intellect. If I can change the intellect, thinking, like now this dress I am wearing, tomorrow I won't be wearing this dress, I will be wearing, of course same color only I will be wearing, but I will be wearing a different dress. Like that, so many thoughts I am throwing and then wearing new thoughts, intellect, conclusions of the intellect. I am not the intellect. I was a communist, now I am a capitalist. Now thereafter I am a social, whatever social, this, that. We just throw away our thoughts and still we are there. I am not the intellect. Who I am? Now, who I am, don't answer me, Swamiji, I am Sachidananda. Why? Because I told you. No, that is not Vedanta. Did you experience it? Did you find out? Is it your truth? Or are you repeating and parroting? Swamiji, don't shout, Swami. Are you understanding what I am saying? Vedanta is Adhyatma Vidya. It is knowledge about the self. Now, Swamiji, if you say it is knowledge about the self, then Vedanta has nothing to do with the world. We think world is different from us. See, so much of ignorance we have. Swamiji, world is different from me. World is different from me only. Are you sure? Is it the same existence what you experiencing here, spreading everywhere? I am, right? This also is. Existence is existence universal? We have to think carefully. Is the world other than me? Is the person sitting in front of me other than me? When I say I am with respect to body, then that person is sitting other than me. But when I transcend the body and when I see myself not as a body, not as a mind, not as an intellect, I and you differ how body, mind, intellect only is differing. In existence, where is the difference? So when we say Vedanta is Adhyatma Vidya, we have to understand that Atman in the true sense. And when you see that Atman in the true sense of existence, consciousness, bliss, suddenly you break the barrier of I and the world. You break the barrier. That's why final message of Vedanta is Aham Brahma Asmi. Have you heard this line? Aham Brahmasmi. Have you heard? Aham, I, is the entirety. And therefore, Vedanta is Adhyatma Vidya and Vedanta is Sarva Vidya. It is all knowledge. Very different knowledge. So when you say all knowledge, it doesn't mean that once you know Vedanta, you know everything in a certain way. Swamiji, you tell me what is cos square theta plus sin square theta plus tan square theta plus cosec square theta. You ask me. I say I don't know. But you know Vedanta, that means you know everything? Mad you are. That's not the meaning of knowing all. You take to a goldsmith. You go to a goldsmith. And then you show an ornament, a bangle. And then afterwards you show a necklace. And then you ask the goldsmith, this bangle, this is necklace, how much, what is this? The goldsmith will say, both of them are gold. Suppose you have a very funny kind of ornament and you take and you ask the goldsmith, what is this? I don't know what it is, but this is gold. He may not be able to tell the name of the ornament because you must have made from somewhere, some country and you brought. This man does not know, but he knows it as what? Gold. Vedanta gives you basic knowledge, essential knowledge, factual knowledge. You can melt the bangle and make into a necklace, but you can't take the gold out of it. Gold is the essence. Gold is the truth. Tat Satyam. Tad Atma. That is Satyam. That is truth. And that is you. Am I doing some breaking of your head or anything? Please think. It is not something you have to understand today. We have 10 days. And we will be patient. And we will be patient. We will study slowly, deeply, carefully. But you have to come with me. You cannot say, Swamiji, now you talk, now I am going to rest for some time. If you know, then there is no point. Right? You have to walk with me. Because it's a journey we are taking together. So what did we say? How did we start? We started with ignorance is the problem. And many times ignorance is so deep that we don't know ignorance is there. One ignorance which pervades all people universally is what? The basic understanding of who they are. It's pervading. This ignorance is all pervasive. This is so basic, but something which is so basic is always ignored. Now suppose I give you one work. Tell me what all are there in this room. You will be able to count, is it not? One table, two table, you will count. Then some pads are there and some bags are there. Some people are there. You can also note their names. Some chairs are there. You will count. Some chairs are stacked behind. You can also count all those things. Everything you will do. And you will, if I tell you, please put a list, you will be able to put the list. Maybe there are 500 things are there or 1000 things are there. Let us say you put all those things together. But I am sure you will miss one important thing. One thing you will miss. I am sure. You will not count it. No, Swami, I will count myself also, okay? No. I am saying something very basic which we will miss. The space in which everything is there. You may even catch light also. But space is forgotten. Why? It is basic. Basic things are forgotten. We'll forget. This ignorance of our real nature is so basic that it is not taken as ignorance. You are also ignorant, I am also ignorant, all of us are ignorant, therefore it is fine. Yeah? Is this the logic? All of us are ignorant, so that is the... No! Vedanta wakes us up. Advaita Jagaran. Come to know your real nature. Find out who you are. Save yourself. If ignorance binds, knowledge liberates. Savidya ya vimuktaye. Have you heard this line? Sometimes universities, colleges also have this tagline. Savidya ya vimuktaye. That is knowledge which liberates. Do you want this knowledge which liberates? Or do you want to be in ignorance? Decide. It's up to you. You want to keep dreaming? Dream. You want to get up? Get up. So, Swamiji, my dream is so nice. But you're dreaming. Nice dream does not make you anything wise. You're dreaming. wake up. Uttishtata, Jagrata. Kathopanishad. Uttishta, Jagrata. Wake up. Uttishtata means get up. Jagrata means wake up. Get up. Wake up. How long you are going to be in this sleep? Swamiji, all this knowledge should be given to old people. What a foolish thinking. People think this Vedanta, this Bhagavad Gita, this Upanishad is to be studied when we are old. When you are old, you should go to die. Swamiji, don't tell like that. Knowledge is required when we are young. If we require English, mathematics, botany, zoology, chemistry, Hindi, this knowledge, that knowledge, geography, everything in school, this is not required. This is the most required, my dear friends. This is most required. This will make us full. This will make us happy. This will make us complete. This will make us better. Even if we are human beings, it will make us better human beings. This will make us love the whole world. This is what will make Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Truth will liberate. Ignorance will bind. Dreams are restrictive, however pleasant they may be. Waking up is a fact, is a reality. Let's wake up. This text, if you see, it is titled Atmabodha. Right? Atmabodha. Bodha means what? Knowledge. Atmabodha. Knowledge of the self. And I already told you, when you recognize your real self, you will recognize everything correctly, including the world will be clear. When I know myself, I will know who you are also well, no? I knowing myself will give clarity about you also. Because I take myself to be a body, I think you are a body. You see? If I know my real nature is not the body, how will I think you are a body? My interaction with you, that you are a body, you are a mind, you are the intellect. That is how I interacting with you. You are thinking. Say, body is very basic. Little more a person matures, then the person interacts with the mind of the person. Little more emotions of the person. Little more it goes to the intellect of the person. But my interacting with you is superficial. If I know who I am, I will know who you are. I will know the whole world. Know yourself, know the whole world. There is a key. If you go to know the world, you will know this, you will know this, you will know this, you will know this. How many ornaments you will know, but you won't know it is gold. That is the most important thing you should know. Go to the basics. Go to the essence. Find the truth. Be liberated. This is what Atmabodha is. Now, because it is very simple, Swami, it is not simple, you may say. Because it is very simple, we lose attention. Simple things, we lose attention. Basic things, we forget. Because it is so basic, therefore, we have to be very, very clear. Remember, all knowledge is gained by the mind intellect. That's the only instrument with which we know. So, this knowledge also, first we gain with our intellect. But remember, our real nature is not intellect. But intellect becomes a means to know this real nature. For anything to know, we require the intellect. That intellect will help us comprehend clearly. And once you comprehend it clearly, then what happens is that what is that knowledge telling you? That knowledge is telling you, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. With which are you gaining this knowledge? With the intellect. And when you are able to understand, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, suddenly you transcend the intellect and you come to your real nature. Something not clear at this point. What is that you said? Intellect should understand. Yes, what should the intellect understand? Intellect should understand, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not none of these. Now when the intellect understands I am none of these, suddenly the intellect also becomes still. Because the intellect understands I am not the intellect. It becomes still. And when you are still, you are beyond the mind, you are beyond the intellect, you are what you are. Did I understand? Did I explain to you right? In other words, you use the intellect and you go beyond the intellect. You have to use the intellect to understand. Our Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji, he used to say with this beautifully, he used to say, understand and then stand under. Understand and then stand under. First you understand, but then don't stop with understanding. Abide that understanding. Experience that understanding. Therefore, is spiritual wisdom intellectual? It is first intellectual. Next, it is trans-intellectual. You understand? Transcendence. It goes beyond the intellect. But to go beyond the intellect, you have to go through the intellect. Understanding? You cannot say because it is beyond the intellect, I will not use the intellect, then you will go to sleep. You use the intellect and go beyond the intellect. So, Atmabodha, you have to understand. And then what you have to do next? Understand and then stand under. Stand under? Meaning, be firm in that experiential knowledge. First intellectual knowledge, then experiential knowledge. Remember, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. That Nididhyasana, that meditation will give you that experiential knowledge. And since this is the journey, as if the mind is cluttered with 100 thoughts, with 1,000 distractions, with a million, this, that cravings, this, that and all, your mind will not be quiet. If the mind is not quiet, intellect will not understand. If the intellect is not understood, you can never go beyond the intellect. So the first step is what? Is to quieten the mind, purify the mind. Quieten the mind does not mean go to sleep. You keep the mind pure. You keep the mind free of agitations so that intellect can understand. So step 1 in spirituality is purification of the mind. When we say purification of the mind, what we mean is that non-agitated mind. Some people get agitated for nothing. It is raining, I am agitated. Only raining you are agitated? No, it is sunny, I am agitated. How can you focus on higher things in life if the mind is like this? The mind should be able to be free of agitation as much as possible. And it is possible to be free of agitation. It is possible. No, that fellow irritates me. It is possible to go beyond that irritation. It is possible. You can do it. Only when I am meditating, that mosquito comes and it is doing on my ears. That's very disturbing. Meaning, the first step in spiritual life is to keep the mind free of agitation. Why? So that the intellect can focus on higher things. Thereafter, you can go beyond the intellect. So, step 1, purify the mind. Step 2, comprehend it carefully through the intellect, pure intellect. Step 3, transcend the intellect. So, all spiritual practices are meant for only one purpose, to keep the mind free of agitation. That is the whole purpose of all spiritual. Any spiritual practice you take, to keep the mind quiet. And keeping the mind quiet is not sufficient, is not the end of spiritual practice. Because a quiet mind is only a preparation stage. Next you have to come to what? Clarity of knowledge. So purity of mind, clarity of knowledge, and then abidance in the knowledge. 3 steps you have to take. Purity of mind, clarity of intellect, knowledge, and then abidance in that knowledge. 3 steps. So people who think, I go to temple, and when I go to temple, my mind becomes very quiet. I am very spiritual. Hey, go man. That's only initial step. Now, that doesn't mean you don't go to temple. People understand the opposite. No, you go to temple, don't stop with that. Ask the question, what is that God whom I am worshipping? You go to Shabarimala, have you gone to Shabarimala? You go to Shabarimala, in front of that temple where you are worshipping the temple, Tat Tvamasi. Meaning what? This Lord whom you are worshipping is you. Tat, that Lord is what? Tvam, you. So when you go to temple, worship, ask the question, Lord, who are you? Actually, when you go to temple and then they do the Aarti, na? Aarti is when they take the light and show in front of the Lord. What do all of us do? We close our eyes. Or you went all the way to see the Lord, and when they are showing you the Lord, why are you closing your eyes? That Lord is in my heart. As what? Sat Chit Anand. That is how, through religion, these practices are religion. Religion is the practicalization for the actualization of knowledge. Religion is a practicalization for the actualization of knowledge. Is there a word called practicalization in English? I don't think so. But we will make our word. What is wrong? Religion is a practicalization for the actualization of knowledge. In the first verse, what we are going to find is the religious practices which are required to make the mind quiet so that the intellect can leap into the highest. Okay? Shall we just read the verse and we will take the meaning in the next session. Tapo bhikshina papana. All of you have your books? Huh? Tapo bhikshina papana. Shantanam vitaragina. Mumukshunam apekshyoyam. Atmabodho vidhiyate. Together shall we chant? Tapo bhikshina papana. Together. One time repeat. Tapo bhikshina papana. Shantanam vitaragina. Mumukshunam apekshoyam. Atmabodho vidhiyate. One more time we chant together. Third time, without looking at the book, we will chant. Okay? Tapo bhikshina papana. Shantanam vitaragina. Mumukshunam apekshoyam. Atmabodho vidhiyate. Shall we look at each other and chant now? Ready? No, Swamiji, one more time. Okay, one more time. Tapo bhikshina papana. Shantanam vitaragina. Mumukshunam apekshoyam. Atmabodho vidhiyate. All of you look at me. I am looking at all of you. Tapo bhikshi. You're looking at the book. No looking at book. Tapo bhikshina papanam shantanam vitaraginam mumukshunam apekshoyam Atmabodho vidhiyate. I am explaining Atmabodha to all of you who have become quiet in your mind by the practice of various spiritual practices and whose mind is free of all cravings. To you who are desirous of this great knowledge, I am explaining Atmabodha for you. That's how you start. You understand? We'll take up in the next session. Yeah? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.